episode 5, Ferchland Talks Felician. My guest today, Felician women's and men's lacrosse head coach Brendan Bonacum. Brendan, how are you doing today?
Doing great, Jim. How are you?
I'm doing good. Women's lacrosse and men's lacrosse, hectic to play, be the coach for both teams all at once. But it's got to feel good after only having your season cut short last year due to COVID in 2020.
Oh, no, it's great. It's great to be back. You're right. With losing everything last year, especially on the women's side, they played 2 games, played a game, and then the next day were shut down. The men got a couple more in, but it was still hard to give everything up. It's just nice to be back to some form of normalcy, you would say, with both teams.
And start off for the women especially. 2019 is something to, not look back on. No wins that season, but last year there was some spark plug there with that very good game against Centenary, 15-5 victory. And Raquel Villas, your best scorer, what do you expect from her coming into her redshirt freshman year?
We're expecting a lot from Raquel. She showed an ability last year, especially in the Centenary game, to finish around the cage if she gets her hands free, and even had a feeding background to her as well, which is great. So we're going to expect her to lead the offense for us going into this year and hopefully keep producing like she did in the Centenary game. It's only going to allow us to be a little more creative and take some more chances for sure.
On the men's side, you have Robby Grosso, a freshman midfielder, and Azor, Wright, a redshirt senior who has been a tremendous player throughout his career at Felician. What do you expect from those two guys alongside your best friend and junior goalie and Pat Hemmer?
I'm going to expect a lot out of those guys. I mean, especially Robby and Azor at the midfield. We're going to look for them to be a 1-2 punch for sure. We're going to expect them to do a lot of stuff. The days of traditional or old school offensive and defensive midfielders is gone. It's back to two-way, and they're going to be expected to contribute on both ends of the ball and try to give as much help to Pat Hemmer as possible. We're expecting a lot from Patty too. He's been with the program now. You count last year, 4 years. He's been our backbone since the program started, and we're going to look for him to take those next steps. And hopefully his time spent with Coach Wilson has given him a different perspective other than my 2 cents that he's had for the past 3 years as a goalie. So looking for him to kind of open it up a little bit more.
And also you have, for the women's side, you have a brand new goalie, Lauren Bane, freshman goalie. But you told me before this, super high expectations for this freshman, and the only goalie that you have on the roster.
Yeah, we're expecting, it's going to be tough for Lauren. She is the only goalie, but we've got some experience as a program with only having to deal with one goalie on the roster the past couple of years. So we know kind of how to get her from day to day and game to game. But we're expecting a lot from her. She's going to have to she's going to see a lot, I think. She's going to be fully involved. We're going to look for her to do some different stuff for sure. But she's shown an ability at practice from the moment she got on campus in the fall that she's going to have the ability to be a great Division II goalie. And we're looking to build around her for the next 4 years. I mean, it's definitely a valuable piece for us to have. If we can make sure that doesn't go anywhere or change anything, then we're going to be all right for a long time.
On the men's side, you have hired an assistant coach, Jack Wilson, at a Curry College from Massachusetts. How is your relationship with your assistant coach, since you don't have an assistant with the women? So the men's side, you actually have someone to bounce back on and help you out.
Yeah, and it's the opposite of last year. So like last year, I didn't have an assistant on the men's side. Women's, I did. So it's been great though. Jack has been a tremendous help for us since he got here. He's given me another set of eyes on the field, which is great. He's taken the defense to a whole nother level. But the most important thing for us has been the recruiting and, the stuff we can bounce off each other on a day-to-day basis. And it's reinvigorated a lot of us, to be honest with you, whether it be the boys or even myself, we've found a new love for this thing again. And, he brings a lot of energy, and it's contagious is what it comes down to. And we're looking forward to having him around for a long time.
I would too, especially. What are some key components outside of Villas and Bane for the women are you looking forward to watching some girls grow, especially key assets for this upcoming year, like Amanda Panacion along with Emily Esposito?
I think they're going to be important parts. I think Amanda's coming into her own now a little bit. She got with us last year during the spring. She transferred from Montclair State. She was finding her groove when everything kind of got shut down, and she's had the ability to spend some more time on the field this fall and spring with everybody. So she's opening it up a little bit more on the offensive side for sure. She's come a lot more comfortable with the girls around her. And then Emily Esposito, we're going to look for her to do a lot. Emily's a little spark plug for us. So, and I don't mean to stab at her height. I'm sure she's going to be mad at me for that one. But she is going to backbone our defense with Lauren, but we're also going to look for her to contribute in the midfield as much as we can as well. She's got a great handle. She's got great speed. We're just going to look to use her anywhere we can to take advantage of it for sure.
And we did talk about James Dalbora for the men's side. Clumsy guy, but did play on the box team this past summer with the New York City Spiders, the Junior B box team. Your expectations, along with Cody Gildebrand for the men's side?
So for James, he's definitely taken his game to the next level thanks to box. We've seen a lot of it. James has always had a God-given talent to be able to dodge, get his hands free, and finish the ball. But now he's kind of taken that ability to step in and play a little more of an inside game and understands, off ball and everything like that thanks to box. Cody Hildebrand is probably just as important to us as Pat Hemmer is going to be on the backside for the defense. Cody's been a starter just like Pat since he got here. He's a senior captain or 4-year captain. I'm not sure if he's coming back next year yet. It sounds like he might be, and we'll be excited to have him. But he's going to be important. He's our quarterback back there. He gets everybody in the right set. And, if those two can continue to improve since they've got here, we're going to have a lot of success no matter what happens.
That's good to know. Practices, when it came to during COVID, how much different was that according to regular practice before the pandemic even started?
At the beginning of the fall, it was definitely different. We had to go through the reintegration period where we're doing smaller groups. We couldn't really be with everybody. On the men's side, it was definitely tough. I mean, we wanted to get after it as quick as possible to try to have them get back up to speed after losing last year. But we got through it. And I mean, by mid-fall, we had normal practices. This spring's been great. We haven't had to worry about any of that stuff when we hit the ground running. And we haven't looked back. I mean, if it would just stop snowing, we'd probably be even better off. But, now that it's 50 degrees, I'll take it any day.
For both sides here, how do you agree with the strength of the schedules?
I think first on the women's side, I think it's going to line up pretty well. Obviously, last year we were frustrated. We didn't get to really see everybody in conference. So now we're looking forward to that conference play. I think they're going to get 2 pretty good tests right out of the gate in Kane on March 6th and Southern Connecticut on March 20th. I think it's going to give us a lot to go back and watch and kind of line up for what we're going to do starting March 31st in conference. I think on the men's side, I think it lines up pretty well. We're going to challenge ourselves right out of the gate. We open up with Wheeling on Saturday. It's their first year back since 2019, so we're excited to see them back in the Division II ranks. And then, we keep the ball rolling with Kane, and we play Dominican in a non-conference game on March 20th. We see Stack, Walsh. So it's, we're going to get plenty for both teams to be prepared the moment the CACC kicks off.
And then it's crunch time from there. Tala Marzouk and Azor Wright, both players have missiles for their shot attempts. You're looking for them to take advantage. And should these goalies be scared if they're launching these balls from 20 yards away?
I would think so. I mean, for Tala especially, on the women's side, to have a shot at her speed, it's going to make it very hard for goalies in our conference on free possession shots, or if she gets her hands free with no one around her, she's got the ability to place it, but also let the thing hum. Azor has tremendous talent. He's got great athleticism, but he complements that very well with a cannon of a shot. And a lot of teams know who he is already because he's been playing with us for 2 years. But it doesn't stop sometimes. I mean, he's still going to go and have his shot and put it in the back of the cage. And sometimes, you just got to live and die by the sword with both of them. They're going to get theirs, and sometimes it may just not go our way, but it's going to happen.
Just before I let you go, your reaction to know that likely there was doubt that we would even have a season, but men and women's lacrosse head coach Brendan Bonacum, you will be having both teams play a full season this year, and just want to know your reaction to that.
We're grateful for it. It's one of those things. When we got shut down last year in March, you're right. There was a lot of uncertainty coming around. We weren't sure what was going to go on. But as we got closer and closer to August, we got word that we were going to give it a shot. And, everyone's kind of just not taking it for granted. We understand that nothing's guaranteed. And we understand that there's going to be roadblocks, whether it be, players testing positive, players getting hurt, and we're just going to strap it up with whatever we got and go play our games. And we're going to be grateful for it. No matter what happens this year, we're going to get better for it and hopefully win some games and get through 2021 and get ready for 2022.
All right. Head coach Brendan Bonacum, thank you so much for your time. Men's and women's lacrosse head coach for the Felician Golden Falcons for episode 5 of Ferchland Talks Felician. Coach, good luck this season, and thank you for your time.
Thanks, Jim. Looking forward to having you out to some games.
All right, definitely. Can't wait.